Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. This will be briefing number 212 and this will be the last normal briefing of the year for 2025. I know technically we have one more Sunday before the 1st of December, but I am going to be filming every day from the 1st of December. So I didn't want to push my luck and do one on the 30th as well. So this will be the last proper one. I've got lots and lots to share with you today. I'm going to do a little bit of just kind of housekeeping to begin with. I've got the results of the giveaways that I've had. I've got some new giveaways to do. I've got my stitching this week. I've got lots of bits and bobs to talk to you about. And then I have got a Christmas WIP parade to share with you. So I went and I found all of my Christmas WIPs out. And so I've got them to show you because we've got some decisions to make. As I was getting some of them out, I'm thinking, some of these have been not touched since the last time I did a WIP parade, which is probably quite a good few years ago. So we've got some decisions to make and I'm going to need some help from you for that. So first of all, I'm going to get on and do the results of the giveaways from last week and the week before. Now, I have also stymied myself somewhat by just piling everything up in no particular order. So the first one was this giveaway by Chloe from Girl with the Gavel Stitches and had such a good response on this chart. Lots of you just went and bought the chart straight away because it's just so different, isn't it? Look at that border. Look at that border. So the winner of this was Lynn Ellis 2448. I'll put your comment on one side or t'other. Lynn, if you can get in touch with me, either by Instagram, DM message or by email, then I can send your details over to Chloe because she needs your email in order to be able to send you the PDF of this. So congratulations to you. And then we had the winner. Which box is it? I've got two boxes here. I've got another box to give away. Very exciting one too. We had the winner of this box. Yes, this is the one. So this is the fabulous Deer chart by Cotton and Twine. If you're interested in this box, go along onto their website. You may just have time to sign up for one of the boxes or the PDF chart. And the winner of this box is Hazel D 9915. So again, I'll put your comment up there. Congratulations to you, Hazel. If you can get in contact with me, because I'm going to need your postal address so that I can get this out to you as soon as possible. I'm having to make a stack on the floor because things are going to get crazy. Right, I have got some more giveaways to do. Now I'm going to be announcing the winners of these giveaways on the 10th of December. So I'm going to make a note to myself that the 10th of December is the day to do these giveaways. So we have got, whoops, I have got piles that are slipping. Whoops, if you'll pardon the phrase. There we go. Now, the first giveaways are from Crow's Feet Stitching, Ruthie, and she has sent me her new charts to give away. And the first one of these is Wintertime, and there have been several others of these. I was going to look back and check to see whether she's now completed the collection or whether she's added to the collection, but I love these. Beautiful, beautiful. So this one is Wintertime. So if you could put the word fox, this one's got a little fox on it here. If you could put the word fox on there, that would be great. And the other one, or other two, should I say, is this one, Joy to the World. I love Ruthie's sort of typeface that she's come up with. It's so perfect. It's so her. So this one is Joy to the World. So a little pin pillow with two angels or cherubs either side. I love that one, and the bells at the top. This one is going to be the word joy. And then the last one is a double whammy. This is Florence's Christmas and New Year cushions. So very little available for New Year. I think that's why Ruthie decided she was going to go ahead and do a New Year one. And these come from the motifs, and some of the text comes from one of her samplers. I'm just trying to find it. Florence Cox, there we go. I could see the word Florence, but I couldn't see her surname. So Florence Cox from Sheringham in Norfolk. So these come from a Norfolk sampler. And she has got a little picture of the sampler there. So the text actually comes from the very top row of the alphabets. Florence Cox, age 12, Sheringham School in Norfolk. She was the daughter of a fisherman and one of 5 children. The family moved to Whitstable in Kent, where her dad became a whelk fisherman and Florence was a laundry manageress. She married a carpenter in 1912 and became a housewife. So little did she know that all this time later, 100 or so years later, her motifs and text are going to appear in a slightly different format. So for this one, let's go for year. So if you'd like to win that one, year. This one, joy. And this one, fox. And if you go back and look at Ruthie's back catalogue, you'll find lots and lots of other Christmas designs there that you might be interested in stitching. So thank you very much to Ruthie for supporting me with those designs, and I can't wait to see who wins those on the 10th. So the next giveaway I've got for you is a really special one. So this one is from Historical Sampler Company, and they provide the cotton and twine boxes that we give away each month, or mostly each month, unless I decide to keep it. And this is one of their big stitch alongs that they do several times a year. This new one starts in January and is called Winter Woodland. So I have got the whole gift box here to give away. So everything that is in this box you are going to get, and I'm going to make the draw on the 10th of December. So I won't open this, but I know for a fact in here will be your fabric, your threads, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a needle in there as well, because there usually is. You also get one of their fabulous, let me get him up the right way, needle minders. Look at that little rabbit with his hat on. Isn't he amazing? And they are so strong. They come with a really nice big back and strong magnet. Great. Some Historical Sampler Company scissors. I love their scissors. They're really nice and sharp and pointed and really good for frogging. I quite often reach for, I've got a couple of pairs of these, and I quite often reach for them when it comes time to frog, as it often does. We have got a large bar of Montezuma's Chili Bonkers chocolate, which is very interesting. I might have to get a bar of this, because my favourite hot chocolate is the Hotel Chocolat chocolate flake pouches. It's the chili chocolate one that I really like on that one. So there's that one. There is a beautiful ornament. Let's get it to twizzle round. Love that. A fabulous thread keep for keeping all your threads in. A Nerge hoop, number 3, 220 millimeters, so 22 centimeters Nerge hoop, and a lovely bag to keep it all in. Now, let me tell you about what is available from the Historical Sampler Company, can't get my words out, in terms of this stitch along, because the box that I've just shown you, the gift box, has sold out. So the only way to get that is to win that one from me. However, you can still get the PDF and the Ada, PDF and the Ada full kit, the PDF and the linen full kit, The gift boxes are sold out, and the PDF pattern is obviously still available as well. So the first part of it is going to be emailed to you on the 1st of January. Then you'll get subsequent parts every 14 days after that. So 15th of January, 29th of January and 12th of February. And you will have finished by, well, whenever you've finished. If it was me stitching it, it'd probably be, 9 months, maybe 10 months later. But you've got a chance to finish this before the end of February. I've put some, or hopefully I will have put some little pictures up here with some of the previews. It does look an absolutely fabulous, fabulous stitch. So that is the gift box. Inside there, I would imagine, is 32 count linen, because that's what they normally send me, but obviously you would be able to switch that out if you so wished. So let's come up with a word. Let's go, since it's called the Winter Woodland, let's go for the word winter. So can I remember all of our keywords for today? Winter, fox, joy, and year. Winter, fox, joy, and year. So if you can come up with a cool sentence based on that, then that's great. But if not, if you just want to put those down, then please do. Now I've done those at the beginning, so hopefully you can just go leave me a comment and then that's you done. Unless you want to come back and comment again, but that's you done and enter the competitions. Neither of those giveaways are my 14,000 subscriber giveaways, which I have been wanting to talk to you about and I keep forgetting. So yes, I have reached 14,000 subscribers. It has now stayed over the 14,000 subscribers. In fact, I don't think it dipped back under, but it has stayed there. So I am planning in January, in the new year, to have a lovely big giveaway. Rather than get it all sort of tied up with Flossmas, I'm going to do it in the new year. But a huge thank you to everybody who has supported me, who's subscribed, who comes back week after week and listens to me yabber on about stitching. It's such a fabulous community. So come the new year, we will have a big giveaway. I've got myself a little blue drink today. It is actually blue. Lindsay, the Cheshire Stitcher, I know is a fan of a blue drink. Now this is a little grape flavoured sort of cocktail type thing. I thought it was a good day to have just a little tipple because it's been a day today. Unfortunately, over the holidays, over the half-term holidays, we had one of our pupils was killed in a really tragic accident, and it was his funeral today. And I also went to see a friend of mine who works at school. She doesn't live at school, she works at school, and she's had a few health difficulties recently. She's in hospital because she's had to have her leg amputated. And although it's been a really difficult day, there's been a heck of a lot of positivity as well, a lot of positivity. And so I felt like just this evening I would raise a little glass and just have a little tipple to life, basically. Right. Oh, that's very synthetic. Right. I do quite like it. I really like it. My face is saying otherwise. I really do like grape flavoured things. And this is grape with a little bit of vodka in it. And so actually, it's okay once it settles down. It's a bit aggressive to begin with, but once it settles down, it's fine. Right. So what have I actually been stitching this week? Because I've been yabbering on and I haven't actually told you about any stitching. I have stitched on the Witch's Garden Winter Folklore. And part 2 has been released. So this is what part 2 will look like. I have done the majority, whoops, she says, of part 1. There we go, that's a little bit better. The green is a bit darker than it perhaps looks, and it's standing out absolutely fine on to the naked eye. Just got some funny shadows here. So the next one that's coming is, now I'm going to struggle with this one, BOC UK. Bukuk. An evil Turkish creature described as a witch who dresses in white and appears on the coldest nights of the year, usually during the first week or 2 of January. Stories of this monster have been traced back to the Middle Ages. Bokuk night originated in rural villages in Turkey and spread from there to Thrace, where these celebrations are still common. Most of the Bokuk traditions are aimed at protecting people and animals from the harm caused. Wow. As I said to you, I was reading or listening to a fabulous book. I'll put the picture of it up again, and I have now finished it, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant. So if you can get it on audiobook, it's all about the kind of monsters and the stories, the folklore tales that sort of surround the darker winter months. So actually, to start this stitch along is fabulous, and it's a free stitch along. It is a free stitch along, so can't wait to do the second one of those. I also had a new start this week. And this new start, let me just find it here, is a chart that I've had in my collection for a little while. This is Happy Christmas by the Good Huswife or Husif or Housewife. I've heard it pronounced all sorts of different ways. This is a chart from 2000, which I was thinking, oh, that's not that long ago. And then it's obviously 25 years ago. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love the text. And it's in the red there. And I still haven't ruled out doing it in red. But I also have this spool. And I really want to put it, I want to make it like a little wraparound for the spool and have it as a sort of dangling trail. Now the spool is kind of yellowy and it's got green on the top. So that has guided my colour choice. And I am using the last little bit of my Lakeside Vintage Buttercream that I stitched Susan Steele on. And I have nearly finished. I say nearly, this took me sort of an evening to do, so it won't take that much longer to do. And I have treated myself to using one of my NPIs, and this is in the colourway 355, Pistachio Green. Well, it says Pistachio Green Range, and this is colour 355. So look at that. And I went for this thread because of the green, obviously, and I went for this fabric because it's got a very slight yellow tinge to it, and I think it picks up with the spool nicely. I did try a couple of other colours, and it just, with the yellow of the spool, I had to pick the right linen so that it didn't jar, and so I went with that one. So that one hopefully won't take too much longer. It is beautiful to stitch, and I just know I'll stitch it again in red, do something else with it as well. Lovely, lovely thing. And lastly, the thing that I've worked on most this week, and this is as much as a surprise to me as it is to you, is my chatelaine. Now, I had decided, quite out of the blue, that I really wanted to stitch on my chatelaine, partly because I found myself looking at other chatelaines as well, and I was like, well, you've got to stitch on the one you've got. And I've been umming and ahhing about how to stitch this for a while, because it's on black fabric and most people put their chatelaines on some sort of frame or other. In fact, I think it's because most people stitch on a frame or other, and I was just finding, sorry, I've just found a rogue piece of thread. I was just finding that I wasn't making the progress that I wanted to on my chatelaine because of the whole frame issue. And so I was just said to myself, look, just stitch it in hand. Stitch all the crosses in hand, and then that'll be probably 90%, 85% of it done. And then I can put it on a frame to do the specialty stitches and the beading, because I think that does need to be done on a frame. I know there are people who do the whole thing in hand, and by the time I get there, I might think the same. So let me show you what I've done. So I had already this top piece here, and I've done a tiny little bit of beading on there just because I was so intrigued to see what it would look like with some beads on. Now we are using with this the most beautiful threads. We're using silks, NPIs, dinky dyes, Karen water lilies. We're using petite treasure braid. We're using silk lame, all sorts of fabulous, fabulous threads. So where does that bit go? I've got a few trailing threads at the top. So I had this bit, and I had some of this, but I have now taken it all the way down to the corner because I like to try and find the corners. I do like to try and find the corners. Now, I probably should have told you, this is called the Sparkling Swans Mandala. And it's going to be quite big. There's the rest of it. Now, I was given this chart and kit for my 40th birthday by my mum. I started stitching it last year on my 45th birthday. So it sat in a box for 5 years because I was intimidated by it. And actually, it's absolutely fine. Once you get stitching on it, once you learn to recognise the colours, it's absolutely fine. Yes, it's a lot of thread changes, but you don't get that effect by just doing blocks of colour. So I've started, here is one of the swans here. So I've started that one. Now, what is the one that I'm interested in stitching also? I hear you ask. Those mad ones of you who can't see anything wrong with having only started a small portion of that, but already to be thinking about another one. The one I'm interested in stitching is Poison Garden. It just intrigues me so much, and I've been talking to Letitia from Corey's Little Shop because she kits up chatelaines, and if someone asks her to kit one, she will quite often kit 2 or 3 and then put them for sale on the website as well. So if you're looking for a kit, it's a good place to go and check, or just message her and say, are you kitting any of the ones that you might be interested in? And she will let you know. She is able to find all sorts of things. The woman is a wonder. She has also let me know today that she is able to find a particular bead that is required for the to-do designs. They're almost like a chatelaine. I really like the Skeleton's Vow one, so I'm going to put a picture of that up there. But if you're doing this, it mentions a particular type of bead, which I'll put across the bottom. She is now able to get those. So I believe that she's the only person in the UK who is going to be a stockist of those. So if you're doing one of those and you need a particular type of bead, then please go and chat to her. She also, just while I'm on the subject, has opened up some extra thread club spots for the 103 thread club. So I'm a member of the 103 thread club. This is what I've had so far. This is 3 months worth. I started sorting them out into colours because I was thinking about using one of them. These are the 150 metre spools. Okay, rather than the 50 metre spools, they are the 150 metre spools. So there is some extra spots for those come up. And there are other spots available for Soie d'Alger, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colourworks, Aurifil, Needlepoint Ink, etc. So if you're looking for a thread club for next year, then go and do that. Right, the other thing that I have done this week is I have done a bit more beading. I decided I wanted to go back and have another go at beading and making a peyote star. Now I've made a small one and I started to make a bigger one, but I made a bit of a fatal error and I had to, well, I just cut it apart and started again, if I'm honest. But this one, I am going to do this one, Nordic Christmas Star #1. And it's from Etsy by a company called Hooking to the Beat. And a lot of theirs are on sale at the moment, so the charts are like £2 or £3. They're not very expensive. And I have made a 5th of the star. So you can start to see some of those deer and various different motifs coming in there. So I just need to make another 4 of those and then I will have a star that looks a bit like that. For those of you who are interested, I am using the Delica Beads size 11. This one is White Pearl DB201 and this one is Opaque Dark Cherry. These are lovely. And this is DB723. So we have a little bead shop nearby us in Narberth called Bethgelly Beads, and I got these from there. I don't think they're the called for ones, I just picked a red and a white. Right, I have got a tiny little bit of haul. I have got my West Green Loft Yarns. Who's this? November? I'm guessing it must be the November club. Oops. This one is called Winter Rose. And it is a beautiful colour. A really, really smashing colour. And when this arrived, it made me think, I get 36 count, it made me think of a chart that just will not get out of my head because I want to start it. Ugh, why can't I fold linen? There we go. Because I want to start it. And it is this one, Winter Rose Manor. Now, I've often thought of doing it, changing the colour of the house slightly and doing it on more of a sort of pinky brown linen. But then I also have this one in put by as well as a potential Old Man Emu Bush. I love that name. By Fox and Rabbit. So I don't know. Do I go a bit off trail with this one or go with this one? This one is more grey. It looks very green here, but it is actually more grey. So I don't know, but this chart is calling my name so loudly. It is just so loud. Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colour Works and Gentle Arts. So probably could muster most of those threads, I should think. But there we go. I have also, I went to the bead shop today actually, and I purchased the closest thing that I could find to the thing that Katie Strachan has told me to buy. Now, Katie Strachan has been showing us how to do beaded edges of ornaments, and she said that we needed some wire. Now, I couldn't quite get the gauge of wire that she said, but I've got the next gauge up, which I think will be absolutely fine. So if you haven't seen Katie Strachan's tutorial, go and have a look because it looks fabulous and I really want to do some finishing like that. I might see if I can pop a little picture up and you can see what it is we're aiming for. Right, that is it for normal. Oh, no, it's not. No. I have got a freebie. Before we go on to the second part, I have got a freebie. Somewhere. I told you things were chaos today. So this is a freebie from the World of Stitches, and this is a set of gingerbread motifs, which I think are really, really lovely. You could stitch those on Ada, on even weave linen. You could even stitch them on perforated paper. They would make some really great ornaments for the tree or little tags. You could, if you use the right colour perforated paper, you could miss out most of that stitching. Stitch just the white and the red and the slightly darker bits, and you'd be done your tags or something like that really quickly. So there's that one. I'll put the link for that down below. So if you'd like to join me for my Christmas WIP parade, then I'd love that, because I do need your help. I have got my Christmas WIPs, because if I'm not going to stitch them in December, when am I going to stitch them? That is the question. So some of them I'm going to be asking you yay or nay, or is it going to be a restart? So I quite like this now. I've got over the initial shock of it. Right, the first one you'll have seen fairly recently. This is an obvious, just get it done, Michelle. This is the Timberline Santa Douglas fir Santa. We've talked quite a bit about Mill Hills recently. And so, yes, that's not a problem. That'll get done. And even if it doesn't get sky hooks, even if it doesn't necessarily get done this winter, it'll get done ready for next year. Now, I have been trying to get this one done for quite some time. This is called O Tannenbaum, because the lovely Vivian and Trevor sent me the box for this that Trevor had made. So I need to get on and get it finished. This is stitched on a piece of Fox and Rabbit Dust Bunny. And as you can see, I have done some. So I have almost completed that one. I have completed this one, and I have started on this one. So I've done one full one, which is the small one, and 2 halves of the big one. So that needs a little bit of an attention. Right. The other thing, I don't know, does anybody else have this? I never used to have a problem. But alcohol makes me redden now. Never used to at all. In fact, I was pretty bomb-proof when it came to it. But yeah, even if I just have a little tiny bit now, my cheeks go really red. Pretty pointless putting any blusher on tonight. Right, let's see what else we've got here. Now I have ironed them, so some things are still in bags and some things are actually ironed. The things that haven't been ironed are still ironed from the last time I did a WIP parade, which probably tells you more than you need to know. Right, this one. This is by Luca S, and this is the Christmas deer, which is beautiful. Now, as with all full coverages, I end up always with some sort of story to tell. Nothing's ever quite right. So this is the fabric that they sent, which was like a gridded Ada, 18 count. And so I was doing 2 strands over 1, and I didn't really like it. I have to say, I didn't really like it. It just looked bobbly to me. Not being a full coverage stitcher, I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to look, but it just looked bobbly to me. So I have then started again on another piece of fabric. Where is it? There it is. Now this is going to make it really tiny. I think this is 25 count. And so I have started now at the bottom. So just down here. And I am liking it much better. I just need to stitch it. I'm not a full coverage stitcher by any stretch of the imagination, but I do really like this chart. I do really like it. It's one of those ones that kind of stopped me in my tracks when I saw it. And so I just need to get on with it and do it. So that's a keep and a carry on stitching on the 25 count, the smaller count. It might even be a 28 count. I'll have to have a look in my book and see what I've swapped it for or measure it. Right, this one is going to be a change, but I think it's going to be a fairly easy change. So this is Little House Needleworks Kringles, which I'm sure quite a lot of you have already seen. And I bought all the fancy flosses for it, and I think it's got some DMC with it as well, so I think I've basically got everything I need. This is a piece of 32 count, and I'm pretty sure it's summer khaki, and that's where I've got to. This is going to be a restart. This is going to be a restart on 36 count, and I'm just going to use 1 strand. I really like it. It's all kitted up. It's ready to go. In fact, why am I putting that back in there? We'll put that back in the 32 count box, and I will pick out something of 36 count. The called for is a 30 count Parisian grey, but I think I'm going to go 36 count, and I'm probably going to start at the top this time, just so that I've got a different place to start. I don't know about you, but if I have to restart something, I don't really like starting it in the same place that I started it before. Just find somewhere new. Right, what else have I got that's still in the bags? This is still in the bag. Now this is also a Luca S kit, and this is a Christmas stocking. Now Luca S kindly gifted this to me probably 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I have made a start on the fabric that it came with, and it is an Ada 14 count Ada. Is it that way? No, it must be that way. 14 count Ada. Needless to say, it's the fabric that's causing me bother. So I may find some white 28 count so that I can stitch it in hand. I can't stitch Ada in hand because my stitches slip under, so I have to put it in a frame, and well, you know me in frames. So yeah, I think I'm either going to restart that on 28 count white, or I might restart it on that 25 count piece that I've got and just have it really small, which will be fun as well. I think it'd be fun to have it really small. So that's going to be a restart. So might as well put that on the floor as well. Ness can have the rest of that Ada. Right, what else have I got? This. Now, for everything I've said, I don't think this is going to be a restart, but it is on Ada. This is Santa's Nap. This is an out of print chart, out of print kit. It comes with the kit, and I got it a few years ago. And I did pay up for it, not hugely, but I did pay more than the retail was, because it's got a little Dalmatian on it. So I kind of had to get that one. I have started it on the kit fabric, on the 18 count Ada that it came with. I don't think it's going to be a restart. I think I probably will just plod on this fabric. And try and make it work, because sometimes you're using 4 strands, sometimes you're using 3 strands, sometimes you're doing cross stitches, sometimes you're doing half stitches. I think I just need to persevere on with that. I don't actually mind stitching on that one when I get it sort of started. So I think that one will be okay. That one can stay as it is. I realise I haven't asked you your opinion. Tell me your opinion. Am I mad to restart these things? Yeah, I'm just not stitching on them, and I want to stitch on them because I love them, and I loved them when I got them. Right, I have another. Let's do all the kits first of all. This one, whoops, I started quite some time ago. This is Dimensions. Checking his list stocking, so that's 2 checking his list stockings I've got on the go. This one is 14 count white Ada with a thread hanging. Now I've got more done on this one, so I don't think I'm going to restart it. I think I will just, what's that? Just random bit of fluff. I think I will just carry on with that one, because I have done quite a bit. Just need to put my big girl pants on. It's not very often you hear people say that they need to put their big girl pants on to stitch on 14 count Ada. But that is me. That is me, I'm afraid. Right. I have got these started. This is Peppermint Candy, the Gingerbread Village series by Blackberry Lane, and I stitched this because I saw the lovely Brenda, Handwork Maniac, had stitched it and finished it, and I want to be Brenda. I really want to be Brenda. She does such lovely work, and she finishes such lovely things. So yes, I want to be Brenda. This is where I've got to. So it's a really nice stitch. It's got a little bit of over one, not a massive amount. It's got some beads, which I've been throwing in as I've been going. It's not a huge amount of stitching actually, but is a front and a back. And I can't remember what fabric it is on. It is on a 32 count, so it's 2 strands. I want to say, oh, what does that say? No, I don't think I've got it written down. I think it might be cocoa. I bought it from Create Nostalgia when we were there in at the Wrexham retreat. So I think it might be cocoa, something like that. Anyway, if you're desperate to know, I'll look it up in my book because I'll have written it down, even if I haven't got it written in my on a piece of paper. Right, everything else now I think is on fabric that I have. Oh no, ironed. There's one more thing. This one is the Drawn Thread Welcome Christmas. So there we go. And this is for is it Pam from, I know it's Pam from Ditsy Daisy Craft, but I'm just trying to think, was it Pam that was talking about it? I think it was. Pam was talking about how she had found some of her drawn thread charts to be a little bit less saturated, the colours a little bit less saturated than she was hoping for based on the front cover. That is true. That is true. So that's using all the called for threads, most of which are dinky dyes, or are they all dinky dyes? A couple of them are needlepoint ink as well. But yes, it is less saturated than you can see on the front cover. That red is not what it looks like on the picture. It is a much more muted version of the red. Everything else I think is pretty good, but yes, it is a much more muted version of the red. So I have two of these. I've only got one of them out. I have got Welcome Christmas and I've got Welcome Winter as well. But because I wasn't showing winter patterns or winter whips, I've just got the Welcome Christmas one out. And I do like stitching on these. I've done spring, summer and autumn. It'd be nice to have at least one of the winter or Christmas ones finished. Try and get it in the bag, it's not difficult. Those come kitted up from Chris at Nimble Thimble. Really economical way to do it, because you don't have to buy the full skeins of the dinky dyes or the needlepoint silks, which are expensive. You know, they can be £5, £6, £7 a skein. You do get a lot of silk in them, but they're expensive. So she gives you plenty, more than you'd need, and you can get on and stitch it. I think most of the time, I think there's probably twice as much thread there as you need. So yeah, she gives you plenty. Right, squeaky chair. Right, now let's start with this one. I'm going to have to put a picture up for this one. This is a caterpillar cross stitch along from last year called Holly Jolly Kitchen, Holly Jolly Christmas. It's one of those two, but it's got lots and lots of cooking, Christmassy cooking things on the front. Now I switched mine onto a 36 count Fox and Rabbit Lizard from their monthly fabric club, and I'm really enjoying that one. So I'd like to get back to that one. It's kind of like a kitschy design, a bit like Caterpillar Cross Stitch are kind of famous for their sort of kitschy designs. I've got another Caterpillar Cross Stitch actually, which is much closer to a finish. This one is called Deck the Halls, and this is stitched on a very pale blue 32 count, and actually there's not a whole lot more to go on this one. It's stitched in the called for DMC, and if I can find a picture of it, I'll put a picture up of it. And I have had this sat with it probably for most of its life, so I have the hanger to go with it. I just need to get on and do it. There is a big snowman here, hence why the snowman motif on the hanger. Right, this one. Now this I know is Wool Santa by Teresa Kogut, because I started stitching it from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, of which the new edition is out, from probably about 2018. And it's got lots and lots sort of to go round it. So there's not a massive amount to do. This is 36 count, but I've used 2 strands, which isn't my favourite either. So I don't know. I do want to finish it, but I might not. I might try and sort of cull some of the border and maybe just tone it down a little bit. Yeah, I love Teresa Covit's work though. All the threads for it, I just need to get on and finish it. Okay, this one I think, oh no I haven't, I thought I'd left the chart over there for, but I haven't. This is called Quaker Stocking by Kathy Barrick. Now if you've got this chart, there was a tiny correction or an extra page sent out, because I think on the stocking there's a page which has got just a very tiny corner of the heel and it's missing. So if you've got this and you're confused or you're thinking of getting this, go on to Kathy's website and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find that, or go on to her Instagram and I'm sure she will. You'll be able to find that. If you bought the chart recently, chances are the correction's already been added into the reprint, but if you haven't and you're a little confused, it might be because you're missing a tiny little part of it. And this is where I am. There we go. I am pushing my margins somewhat here because I really wanted to stitch it on this piece of fabric, which is a 36 count Ancient. Because I love the yellows and blues, because there's a lot of yellows, blues and greens in this. And I also have, because this is the way I roll, that is a hands-on design ornament that needs finishing. This is an ornament that I think came out of one of the, what do you call those? Just cross stitch Christmas ones. And my plan is to put a nice little button or something in the middle. And then this one, again, it probably came out of a Christmas just cross stitch. And I think I was going to put a button there as well, because I think you're supposed to put an initial there, but having the initial M means it doesn't always fit where it's supposed to go. So I think I was just going to put a little button or something on there as well. So there's 3 ornaments there I've got to finish, as well as the stocking. Right. This next one is probably one of my oldest WIPs. This is the Jim Shaw Santa by Designworks. It came out in 2013, but I would imagine I probably started it in 2018. And again, it's on 14 count Ada. And this is where I'm up to. Now, part of me is thinking, do I restart? Do I restart on 36 count? Or do I carry on 14 count, but not do... So the blue and white border, or blue and white background is stitched, but then you've got like this yellow frame. Do I just stitch up to the blue and white border and finish it? Or do I start again? I don't know. I don't know on that one. I really like it. I do really like it, but do I restitch it on like 18, not 18 count, because that wouldn't help me either, 36 count white? I don't know. I need your help on this one. I need your help. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do, because I don't know. What else have I got sat here? I have got this one. Now, this chart was a gift from Mary Pearson. She sent it through to me probably a couple of years ago now. In fact, it's more than a couple of years ago. I saw this in a picture taken at the Nimble Thimble. And I had to message Chris and I was like, what is that? I really want to stitch it. What is that chart? And she contacted the original stitcher of it and found out that it was Cricket Collection, the Social Call. So I love him. I love him. He is not small. He's not huge, but he's not small. This is where I am. So this is a piece of 32 count mint splash. And I have substituted some of the called for colours for some overdyes, so that you've got that kind of stripy look that his coat's got. I can't remember what the actual one for... I think it was a sheep silk one. Is that the right one? Let me have a look. Yeah, it's a brand called Sheep Silk, which I've no idea. I've never heard of it. So yeah, I think I have picked the thread. I'm pretty sure it's called Juniper. I can't remember if it's what brand it is. I'll put it down below. But it's giving me that nice kind of stripy look. So I need to do some more work on that. Now this one is Santa of the Forest by Lavender and Lace. And this fabric always looks more browny than it is. It's actually really greeny. As you can see, I've done quite a bit. I haven't actually worked on this for very long, and I've done quite a bit. So got that lovely owl in, working on the bear. So do I do some work on that? I have also got here Deck the Coop pin keep, which is the biggest pin keep in the world. Bearing in mind this is stitched on 36 count. That is the size of it. I've got an attached thread here. Somebody once said to me that when you finish a project, you should always put your next thread on, so that if you ever lose your needle, it's much easier to find a needle attached with thread than it is just a plain needle on the floor. So there's that. This is a piece of Picture This Plus 36 count fawn. And I have stitched on here, I've got another one of these to finish, a Laurie Holt, no, wrong Laurie Brecklin, Not Forgotten Farm Santa on there. And this is one of the ones that I want to do Katie Strachan's finishing on, because she finishes it like this. And I want to be just like Katie Strachan, because she's lovely. This is Oh Christmas Tree by Love Poppet. This was a stitch along last year, which I didn't keep up with. They have done, or she had done a huge big border around her tree. So it comes into this big tree, lovely big baubles on it, and then it's got a border around it. I will not be doing the border. I'm just going to do the tree, and I will probably try and make it into like a stand-up tree. But I loved that one when it came out. I thought it was fabulous. And then lastly, I have got the Tiny Modernist Yule Goddess. And this one I am stitching on a piece of 32 count Pampas by Picture This Plus. And I love this colour. I really like it. And I'm doing a sulky conversion. So that's what it looks like. And I've got all the threads in a bag over there somewhere. Tell me what to do. So what should I do? Do I need to restart the projects that I think I need to restart? Which ones do I need to work on? Nothing particular is calling to me at the moment. Nothing in particular. I've got the whole of December. I do have the Northumberland Sampler House advent calendar, which I know has got things to stitch in it. And I've also got Corey's Little Shop advent calendar, which I know has got things to stitch in it. And the same is true for the Historical Sampler. But I would like to, if I'm not going to stitch on them now, then when am I going to stitch on them? Help! Help! Tell me what to do. That's it. I will see you next week, but on the 1st of December for the start of Flossmas. Stay classy, stitchers.